Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du, fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wallazina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana wa inna Allaha la ma'iyal muhsinin. Sadaqallahul azim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina maulana Muhammadin wa bihi wa ala sallam tasliman kathira. That indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and it is a principle really of the spiritual path, that juhud, and without juhud you can't really attain anything. And to sum up, the shuyukh have said is that if you want to know about the spiritual order or path, is that, in other words, is that to struggle the path, there is no path for those who have no taqwa. If you're on the spiritual path and you're not practicing taqwa, which you all know what it is that there is no path for those people who are actually have no taqwa. And if you have no path, then you cannot reach. You cannot reach whatsoever. So if there is no, if you don't possess taqwa, in other words, is that juhud, the striving that you do, the struggle that you go through, is the very fundamental thing that is needed and required. It's like a thing that you have to do in every aspect of your journey towards the path to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that is missing, all else is actually doomed to failure. You're not going to go anywhere. And this is something that we need to actually keep on reminding ourselves and address ourselves and again and again and again, so that it is clear as to what is expected of us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that those people who strive for us, those people who will strive, jahadu fina, is that those people who will strive and exert, go against their nafs. The word juhud here is there, is that to struggle against your desires, to struggle against the comfort, the luxuries, to struggle against the disobedience, what the nafs and shaitan is actually doing, then what happens is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will find ways for us to get out from it. And this ayah is really a beautiful ayah in terms of the fact that any addiction that you have, you struggle, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're addicted to drugs, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're addicted to alcohol, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're addicted to pornography, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're addicted to swearing, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're addicted to any gambling, Allah subhanahu will find a way for you. If you're sincere in your struggle, and if you actually exert yourself to whatever is in your ability, know that this verse is telling is that لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ, that we will surely guide you. Surely you'll be guided, and will surely, in other words, is that you will not be left alone. Don't think that, oh, I have done everything I could, whatever I could, that's it. No. That means that one aspect that you can also look at it, the very fact that you're here to find a solution, that you got the solution, was because of this purpose. The reason is that one day, one point came to your life that you said, enough is enough, that I want to change, that I want to find piety, I want to find peace, I want to find serenity, I want the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm tired of actually going against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so therefore I will struggle. I will do juhud, I will go against what my nafs wants. I'll go against it. And because of that thought, and because of the fact that you tried, hence why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed you a way which is to here, to the path. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, we will surely, what does Allah say? Is that we will surely, if those of you will surely find your way, a path. Subulana, in other words, a Tareeq. Many ways, you can find many ways, not just one, there's many turuq, but we'll find your path, we'll find your way in which you can actually gain that. La nahdiyannahum subulana, that we'll find not just one way, not just one solution, many solutions. You got a problem, you need a solution, we'll not just give you one solution, many solutions. So hence why the shuyukhs, whenever, for example, you say, oh, brother, I feel well, Hazrat, there will be one solution after another, after another, after another. That's why they are master science of purification. This is the reason why, is because they will not just, if you are sincere, remember this is those people who strive for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for His sake, for His pleasure, is that those who will strive for His sake, for His pleasure, if you are sincere in your striving, and you seek the advice, and you try to actually act upon it, and you still struggle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open another door for you to actually achieve success. And you still struggle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open another door for you to achieve success. In other words, you go back to the shoes, to the mashayikh, I've actually done this, I've tried that, and there will be another solution for you, another way. There is no deficiency in us getting advice and us finding solution from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember this, the doors to marifah, the doors to closer, the doors to solutions is endless. It's not just one way, there are many ways. If we're striving and striving. If we are lazy in what we're doing, remember this, he says, this is certain taqeed is there, is Allah nahdi an-nawm. There's taqeed that definitely that we will surely. And then Allah says, وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ, is that indeed Allah is verily with those who are muhsin, who are the people of ihsan, the people who are trying to achieve ihsan, the people who are good doers. You know, the muhsinin, the commentators have translated this as, the translation of this is as good doers. Muhsinin, those people in state of ihsan. That He's definitely with those people who are of ihsan. He definitely will be definitely sure Allah on those people who are ihsan, is that these people who are striving to better themselves, striving to actually achieve my pleasure, how can Allah not be with them? Look at all around you, those people who are wandering lost, and they're not struggling. They're not trying to find a solution. But in one sense, in this, is that, in other words, it's not just for here. Did He say, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ? Okay, does it strive for just for dunya or for akhirah? No, it's not. Here, in any aspect of your life, both for worldly matters, both for hereafter, for whatever aspect, you do for the pleasure. For example, you are struggling and striving to attain education. Now, what's happened is that many times, Allah knows better, you're striving, that you are trying to actually, let's say, for example, you're trying to get into a course. You have now exerted yourself and you try to actually pass, but unfortunately, maybe you've not been successful in enrolling to a particular university or college. So you strive, you struggle. Allah SWT will find another avenues and means for you to get into that another college. And you think, okay, that much. But if you keep on being sincere, He'll find other avenues for you to get into another college, to get to another course. And then when you get there, then He'll open other avenues and doors for you. In other words, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you are sincere, He'll find different ways and means for you if He is good for you. Not just here, for jobs as well. If you're striving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to get a job, He'll find you a job. Maybe it's not the top KPMG job that you wanted, but it will be something which will be different. But inshallah, it'll give you the purpose that is to serve you for. What a job will do is that you will get your wealth to sustain yourself, to sustain your family, and so on. So if you are sincere in striving, not just for akhirah, not just for hereafter, but even in this dunya, for dunya purposes, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will find you ways. And that is something that you got to keep in mind, is that always there is a solution for you. Don't just give up. But it says here, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا. You have to now struggle. You have to do the juhud. If you are not doing the juhud, forget it. Then it's fadl. Pure grace, if Allah then decides that it's his fadl, there is no principle you can use on fadl. There is no rule. It's up to Him. If He wants to guide, He guides, and if He wants to leave, it's up to Him. So here is that what we're saying is that striving and struggling is what then kickstarts, initiates for us the guidance and solutions to whatever problems, to whatever obstacles, whatever difficulties that we actually achieve, or that we actually come across in the journey and the path to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we are striving, there'll always be a solution. There'll always be a solution for us to actually seek and for us to excel. Sayyidina Ahmad Ibn Ajiba rahimullah, he once did a commentary of Qasida Ra, a poem which they used to explain about the spiritual path, just elements of it. He did a commentary, and I think once I started this, but we never finished it in terms of this. But the first part that we did try to explain, the first part of the poem, he says, the poet, he actually writes, his sheikh, he actually says that, I enjoin upon you piety towards God wherever you go, be of noble character, privately and publicly. First thing that he mentions is that taqwa, you need taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wherever you go, wherever you are. So taqwa, and then he is obviously taqwa here, but not only that taqwa is saying that, but he's also coupled taqwa with what? Good character, noble character, the best of character, perform the best of character both privately and publicly. Many of us, public, we are angels. We are, when people see us, I'm talking about myself here, is that they see this person is, wow, maybe you're actually quite fearful, but anyway, is that they see this person is that, oh, this person is very gentle, must be very sweet, is person with the piety and righteousness. This is this outward, unfortunately, attire that we address, and we are presenting that we're people of sunnah, that we're people of karam, we're people of shafaqah, we're people of compassion. And then what happens in public? We are angels. In public we are saints. In public we are noble men. In public we are gentle beings. In public, even when we do our speeches, our tongue is so beautiful and eloquent and so gentle. Our khutbahs are like that. Our dars is like that. But you meet this person in private, he's a complete opposite, he's like a devil. I'm talking about myself, unfortunately, but he is completely, you could say, opposite to what he's portraying. Completely opposite. So he portrays that, yes, he's good, yes, I am good, I am good, I am good. In private, when he's alone with his family, with his wife, with his children, with his peers, with his folks, with his work colleagues, he's a complete opposite. Shouts, screams, complete opposite. The very thing he's saying, he's not even doing. Complete opposite. Unfortunately, this is our state. What can you do? But Allah forgive. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like Allah, we said, began is that if a person strives, then inshallah he will guide and he'll actually open doors. But you'd never give, but you keep on striving. So if we explain this is that you need to have taqwa. The very fundamental thing is to have taqwa, and you need to be of good character both publicly and privately. So there's no point of showing the whole world that I am a very concerned person. I have genuine concern. I really care for the Muslim Ummah, for my fellow brothers and sisters out there. And then somebody comes and knocks on you, brother, can I have £5? Who are you? What do you want £5 for? That was a need. You portray to be someone generous. You portray to someone to be caring. You portray that this is person who that I am a person who is in the welfare of people. And then somebody comes and knocks on the door who is in need and says, borrow, brother, let alone money, can I borrow your charger, please? My car has actually broken down. Oh, brother, I cannot borrow no charger. I can have. Brother, my car's broken down. How many times last week people have maybe wanting help from you, but you refused? You didn't help. Maybe they're stuck in the snow. Maybe they didn't need a lift. The car was not starting, but we refused. Again, character, not just outwardly, not just in public, but in private. When you really, and I'm private, what's happened is that we think in public people are seeing. In private, nobody sees me. The unfortunate thing is that that just tells us that who we're really doing it for. And we'll come on to this. It leads us nicely to this part, is that who are you really doing this for? If that being in public and private is with you, then why are you changing? That being who you're supposed to do for in public and private is still with you. He's not left you. He's still there. But unfortunately, we didn't do it for that being. We did it for others and other people. And that's why our portrayal is for others. Hence why when in front of people, we are angels, and when we're alone, we're devils. It's just a statement, inshallah, we're not devils. What I'm trying to say is that our akhlaq, our character, our conduct completely diminishes, completely goes away. That, for example, me and you will come together. You see how beautiful, brother, how are you? I don't know you, don't know me. How are you, brother? I am very well, thank you. We don't even raise our voices. It's like people think, these are angels in the zawiyas. They're beautiful brothers. They're angels. And then you just have a quarrel with them. Just one day, just experience one quarrel, and you find out these are not angels. These are not angels. And then, when this does happen, any person, Allah SWT gives us all hidayah and enables us all to rectify our mistakes, is that if this does happen, that when we quarrel or we have a bad experience with someone, again, it will come to it, is what you're supposed to do. So we'll move on, inshallah. So here is that, it will be coming, inshallah. That's why I'm saying it will move on. Is that the principle of Tareeq, Sayyidina Ahmad Zuruq rahimullah, as Ibn Ajib rahimullah, Sayyidi Ibn Ajib rahimullah, who's from Morocco, Ibn Ajib rahimullah, you've probably, some brothers of you've been to his mazar. I think it's in Titwan or somewhere down there, down the coastal area. So he's buried there. May Allah SWT bless him and elevate his status rank. This is one of our mashayikh, says that you see how wonderful, like these kitabs that they've written, is that me and you, we are seeking some marvelous new information, or maybe high level information, to know that of the spiritual path and spiritual order. So let me just tell you, you probably might not have heard of. For example, they'll say, "Oh, let's study Shaykh Ibn Abdullah's Al-Hikam." Hikam is a very famous kitab that people in universities they study, and then disciples they read, but seldom people understand. Seldom people understand. So we're looking for these high-level kitabs and books, etc., etc. We try to find another shuyukh, other great buzurg of the past, and see if they actually give us information in another way, another form. What you find is that people of truth and the people of wisdom, is that you'll find the message is universal. It's universal. And that's how you know they're all people of haqq, people of truth. The elites, these people will utter the same, because there's nothing new they need to say. It's just elaboration, really. Because Quran and Sunnah has already been given to us. They just elaborate a little bit more in a simplified version, so that means you can understand. And hence why you'll see it's befitting. Anyway, Sayyidina Ahmad Zuruq rahmallah, Ibn Ajib rahmallah quotes and says about Ibn Sayyidina Ahmad Zuruq rahmallah, he's saying that the principle of Tariq, according to Ahmad Zuruq rahmallah, is that he says there are 5 principles of the spiritual path. For example, don't worry about anything, just remember this. What he's saying is that these are the integrals, mean that you need to have these 5 things. One is that taqwa of Allah, obviously you need to have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private and public. Is that you show, you demonstrate, you behave in according to as if a person who's got conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both private and public. So alhamdulillah, brother is there. He's a lion in the ring, and he's a lion when he's at home. He's a lion in the ring, he's a lion at home as well. In other words, is that he will beat the living daylights out of that thing who's in front of him in the ring, and then when he's at home, he'll beat the living daylights of his nafs and shaitan. Because the ring is really the ring, you were always in the ring. The thing is that, for example, the brother, Allah SWT bless him, is that he's in the ring for a moment. He's battling against the opponent for a moment, maybe 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Maximum is 12 rounds. After that, then you'll be judged. After that, you'll be judged. It's one match, one game. It can be a changer. The thing is that imagine the preparation it takes for that one battle. Preparation it takes for that one battle, maybe months of preparation for that one battle. And then the tactics. You have to be alert of the tactics that the brother has to understand is that those people go in the ring of boxing, that they have to understand is that this opponent, he does this, he does that, and he learned the tactics and maneuvers, and then conditions his mind, his body, so that to the opponent, not to his own system, but to the opponent. Not every single match will be the same. Not every single fight will be the same. They have strengths and weaknesses, and you have to now target the weaknesses. Therefore, it may be against you, but you still target that part. You make sure that you strengthen this bit so that you can get maximum exposure to the opponent in a certain way. So it takes months of preparation. Eventually, you're in the ring and you fight. 1 round, 2 round, 3 round. Allah knows best. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. The thing is, when you're finished, for example, let's say, Alhamdulillah, brother, Allah keep on giving success to the brother, is that he wins. Maybe after 6 rounds, 3 rounds, 2 rounds, or 10 rounds, doesn't matter, he wins. The battle's over. Match is over. The thing is that me and you then go into comfort mode, isn't it? Oh, that was a ring. Oh, that was a football game. We've just played a football game and the match is over. Oh, we just had a nice competition, go-karting, the racing's over. That's it, we're finished. The battle with nafs is continuous. The battle with shaitan is continuous. And unfortunately, that ring is with us 24 hours of our lives. Every single day, every single moment is a battle. It's a battle. And for example, the brother is trying to understand the tactics, the maneuvers, the punches that was going to have most effect upon nafs and shaitan. The Messenger of Allah told us, this is the tactics, this is the punches. Then, okay, for example, you've not studied Quran and Sunnah. Okay, fair enough, you've not studied Quran and Hadith. Okay, the shuyus are there, the awliya and salihin. They're your trainers. They're training you up and saying that this is what you have to do. This is how you have to make sure, for example, is that there will come arrows and there'll be some jabs for the eyes. What you do, you lower your gazes. Make sure those jabs don't come and you lower them. Okay, what'll happen is that there'll be a swing which is going from the side and going to hit your ears. Make sure you duck and swivel away, turn your head away. Okay, he's coming towards you, you move the other way. You go left, you go right, you jerk, you swerve. All these different maneuvers you are doing, the shuyus are training you, telling you, Shaykh Tarbiyas, they're telling you how to maneuver so that you can overcome, not just defend, but overcome, subdue, and make the opponent submit. And what we're trying to do is make the nafs submit to you, to what Allah SWT wants, what the Rasulullah SAW wants. You are trying to make that in those rounds of your life, the days of your life, every day which is a battle, is that if you are losing, remember, you know, the referees, they give a card at the end, who's won, who's lost. That card is coming for us in Akhirah. It's coming. You have won. But we can get the good news before we go, is that if every day we are battling, let's say you got knocked. That game's finished. In a ring, boxing ring, you get knocked down once, it's finished. Okay, at most twice. The referee says, stop, it's no competition. That's it, stop, it finished. Although the person's going to die. But Allah sometimes says, you fall, and fall again. It doesn't matter, you've not lost. Get up. You're going to get hit again, get up. You're going to get hit again, get up. You fall again, you've not lost. There may be, yes, shaitan may be saying, yes, I'm winning, look, I'm winning. Yes, there we go. He's saying, look, I've got so many wins, look, this round I've won, this day I've won, this day I've won, this day I've won, this day I've done. It doesn't matter. You lived for 20 years, you lived for 50 years. And it's showing that for 49 years and 364 days, he has lost and you won one day, you were successful. You were successful. You were successful completely. But what we're doing, that's why I said the verse, لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُ, those people, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا, those people who strive. If you are sincere, getting up, that's courage, that's real courage. To get back up. When the failure comes, is to have the courage to get back up and to fight against nafs and shaitan. Not be a wimp. How many times have you seen a boxing match where you said, that guy has courage, this person, even though he's lost around? How many people were said about these, like, I don't know these boxing people, but anyway, they kind of broken all the likes, etc., etc. McGregor and so on, they fought, they did well, who says that? They had courage. Even though they had such a mighty opponent, but they had the courage to fight that person, and they gave up, they're not giving up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that in us. That you fall, you're weakened, you're completely knocked out, but you say, I'm still not giving up. Then what happens when you get up? You're falling. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you're sincere, if you're sincere, He'll find another tactic for you, another way for you. Eventually you become successful. You do not lose whatsoever. So here is a have taqwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ring where you in the ring of this life, this dunya. We have to fight against nafs and shaitan both privately and publicly. Taqwa privately and publicly, because that being who doing it for, he still sees, he hears, he's not gone anywhere. Second principle, Ahmad Zuruk rahimahullah, he said, is that following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam both in word and deed, not just I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I am a lover. How can you see? Remember this, and always. What is he alayhi rahmah saying? He's saying that following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam both in word and deed. I will be honest with you, is that when we are young, we're very quick and responsive. Okay, alhamdulillah. Unfortunately, I can only tell you is that when I was young, I was very quick and responsive. Okay, that's what I'm saying. We only learn through mistakes when we're young. So when we're young, we have a perception of piety and righteousness. It is right, it is correct that if we see a person of sunnah, we automatically assume piety. It is correct. We automatically assume that the person dressed in the attire of sunnah is outwardly presenting himself to be a pious person. Sister is presenting herself in hijab, we assume that alhamdulillah the sister is practicing, a pious lady. That's what we're saying. But the following the Prophet ﷺ isn't just outward deed, isn't just a word that I love the Prophet ﷺ, I love the Prophet ﷺ. But my deed, I'm just saying I love. I'm just saying that we should follow, but it has to be deed as well. Now, don't be so hasty if those people have not got the attire of sunnah, are not dressed in the sunnah. Don't be so judgmental to think this person, oh, he's bad. Oh, he's wrong. Oh, that person, oh, he can't be this. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's one element of the sunnah he's not got. Maybe he's got 10 other more than you have. The sunnah of soft speech, of gentle words, of good thought, of good opinion. The sunnah of caring, the sunnah of helping, the sunnah of being a good son, being a good father, being a good employee, being a good employer. What I'm trying to say is that there are so many aspects of sunnah. Don't be so judgmental and saying that he doesn't have a mama, he doesn't have a beard, or he doesn't have a turban. Don't be so quick and be judgmental to think that this person is bad. Don't be so quick. Likewise, don't be so quick and judgmental to think that this person is good just because he has a sunnah as well. Have always in moderation. Remember this is that you can dress the attire of sunnah, that's presenting. You got to have the sunnah akhlaq presenting it as well. You should be showing that. But that person who's trying, like I said right at the beginning of the verse, jahadu, the person who's trying, he's trying to imitate, he's trying to follow. Don't actually be so quick to actually like stealth approach. Brother, what are you doing? Etc. etc. You're supposed to be following the sunnah. You cannot do this. Don't be so quick and be judgmental. He's trying. He may have lapses. She may have lapses. Yes, she's trying to practice. She's putting the hijab on. And so she accidentally puts this makeup on. She does this other thing. Don't be so quick to actually admonish her. Yes, she may go down and she may actually accidentally take the hijab. Don't be so quick to admonish her straight away. Sometimes it takes time for people to realize. Sometimes it takes time for people to actually start finding the foot into how to actually worship, how to obey, how to follow. It takes time. Many times people take years to actually understand these things. So following the Prophet ﷺ both in word and deed. So what happens is that if you really say that you love Prophet ﷺ, if you really keep on preaching to people you should follow the Prophet ﷺ, you do it yourself. That is the greatest da'wah you can probably do. Is that do it yourself, proclaim and show people that I am a lover, I am a follower, that if you want to see me, for example, yesterday we saw people who are in Champions League, in football, any football game, in cricket, in boxing even, whatever it is that people who support the team or the person is that they will dress themselves in that person's. Decorate themselves in the colors of that person or that team to show the love. And that is what really Sunnah is copying and expressing. Copying, i.e. Sunnah is literally copying the Prophet ﷺ to express that we love him, we like to follow him, he is our model, he is our ideal. That's what we're trying to do and portray. So in both word and deed, the following the Prophet. Number 3, Ahmad Zurug said is that, this is very important, is that if you want to be on this path and if you want to understand, is that indifference to the acceptance and rejection of creation, but I put brackets, people. You need to understand indifference to what? Acceptance and rejection. Acceptance and rejection is a lot of the time we're on the spiritual path. Is it if I do this person will like me? And if I do that, this person will like me. If I, for example, if I tell them that I follow the Tareeq, the person is going to leave me. He's not want to know me. You see, in adversity, I remember at that time, for example, now you're seeing amama as a common thing, isn't it? If I was to cast your mark back 20 years or 25 years back, it wasn't such a common feature. Even Dawat Islami wasn't even actually established then. It wasn't a common thing. And then what happened was that, a little bit aside, just so you understand, is that really when you, no matter what, never has our teacher Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh has ever told us to, for example, even put a beard on our face. Nor did they tell us is that wear an amhama. Let me just tell you this, never. They've not done this. Whenever we came, in our earlier days is that we came, is that at that time, unfortunately, is that we came, we loved what we saw was something which is beyond what we read in books. Many times what happens is that if I wanted to understand the Shama'il, if I wanted to understand anything of the Prophet ﷺ, what I do, I get the hadith there, it's there, the Shama'il is there. I don't understand it. I used to look at Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh and I would understand. That's how I didn't need to do anything. It's like how the person, if I want to say how was it, I just look at it and then I saw this is how it is. That's the beauty of it. I have not really need to, I just need to read the Shama'il and I look and I see this is how it is. The eating, the drinking, the talking, the conversing. Even the beautiful thing is that I know it's a strange matter, but because you've met Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh in terms of the fact that in the Zawiya, maybe you've not seen in the life in which they were working, in which they were with the families and outside the public, in other words, in the public domain. So we were blessed with seeing them in public domain as well. So what I'm trying to say here is that, for example, this very beautiful thing of the Prophet ﷺ, when he would actually greet somebody, meet someone, if somebody was behind them to the side, fully turning themselves towards the attention of the person. You may think this is what's so amazing, but it's amazing for the person who's actually asking. It's an honor for the person. But then to see how we're supposed to do that, you then see how many of us have gone to Umrah, Morocco, Hajj, different dawah trips, and we've seen people just stopping the Sheikh and then fully you see Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh will turn, and then you say, this is how the Prophet, this is what it meant by that. How they turn, smile, being considerate of the people, etc., etc. So what I was going back to at that time when we first came, it wasn't something when we first there. is that unfortunately the 9/11 happened. Fortunately, unfortunately, however happened. Now is a problem. Because what happened was that everybody was after, unfortunately, the whole world was showing and depicting what? They had a picture of Osama bin Laden, they had a picture of him, and they portrayed, the media deliberately showed is that this is the image of Islam. What they said, they show a person with a beard, longish beard, and an amama. This is terrorism. It's very, we're not going to do this is what they're showing, portraying. So now every single Muslim parent was saying, don't you dare wear an amama if you go anywhere. Not because of that, they're fearful for their own lives. One is that they were attacked, just like sisters were getting attacked, hijab, etc., etc. Brothers were being targeted then. So what happens is that we know some brothers is that, I'm just telling you, if you really have love of the Prophet ﷺ, is that indifference of the acceptance and rejection of people. So in other words, is that you wear an amama, you'll be rejected. You go for a job, you wear an amama, you'll be rejected. You go to university for an interview, you get rejected. You go for somewhere else, you wear an amama, and sooner you'll be rejected. You have a bid, they reject you. In other words, is that here is the indifference. It doesn't matter. Indifference to the acceptance and rejection of people, we do not care. The principle is that we are only concerned about the acceptance and rejection of Allah and His Messenger, not about the people. Our aim and the path is that we only concern ourselves with the acceptance and rejection of Allah and His Messenger, not about the people. Is that if people are saying, for example, that time, what brothers used to do, the parents even, for example, if some of you are saying, my parents don't allow me to do this. So what happened, some of these brothers, they were young and they're going to university. Parents are now telling them, don't you dare wear an amama. They want to wear the amama. They have the love for the amama. And you might think, what's wrong with it? So what they'll do is that they have a bag. They used to put the amama in their bag, show to their parents that I'm going to university with my hat. Don't worry about it, or no hat. As soon as they get out of the house, put the amama on, go on the bus, go to university. As soon as they come back, take the amama, put it in the bag, and that's it. To keep the peace in the house, so that parents are not concerned, and to show really nothing happened. It was just a shaitanic tactic just to put people off from actually following the sunnah. It's a shaitanic tactic just to, so for example, deliberately, is that they're trying to say, really, shaitan was trying to, in one effect, was trying to actually destroy the image of sunnah, saying, and trying to annotate it with terrorism. And it cannot be. Is that if a person really is practicing the sunnah, the people, even their hearts cannot accept that this person is this. Their hearts cannot accept, no matter what. So acceptance and rejection of people, this is a principle. Indifference is that we're not bothered. We are different. We do not care about people. We do not care about the opinions of people. Oh, if I do this, they're not going to like me. Oh, if I don't do this, they're not going to like me. Oh, if I do this, I can be in their little gang and they'll like me. I said, it doesn't matter. Your concern in the path is that acceptance and rejection of Allah, not of the people, or the opinions of people. That's even worse. That's even lowly. Sayyidina Abdul Barahman and the Shuyus, what they said was that there are people so lowly that I've said this many times in their class, is that there are people who are so concerned about the opinion, not of the person, opinions of the people. In case, what do they think of them? Do they think good? Do they think bad? What is their opinion? So in this path, your heart becomes, you feel the release of ease. And so pressurizing you to feel the release of ease, that you are not concerned about people, what they say, what they'll do. You're only concerned about Allah and His Messenger. That's what you're concerned with. Number 4, and this is very important as well, returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Returning is ruju, returning back, ruju, both in prosperity and in adversity. When everything is going, you're in prosperous, you got wealth, you got fortune, wealth of knowledge, you got wealth in physical wealth, You're prosperous in terms of joy, of happiness, of amana and gifts. You're prosperous. Basically, you're in prosperous. But given that, have you not seen many people, they've forgotten Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala despite being given all this? They've forgotten. So is that whenever you are given wealth of knowledge, wealth, physical wealth, or comfort and ease and all these other things, is that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you all these prosperous things, be it car, be it a house, be it wife, be it children, be it status, whatever it is that you still remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you return back to Him. I.e. is that your heart always connects, is always there. I'll give you an example, is that at the time of Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmahullah, he was a multimillion businessman. Now what happened was that you've all heard of it, in times of adversity and prosperity. Now I'm not really going to the main bit. What they're saying is that, for example, they got a telegram came that the ship that actually had his merchant on that he possessed, that it actually been sunk in the sea. He analyzed his heart and he said, Alhamdulillah. Murees would think of what is happening, he's saying Alhamdulillah for disastrous news, he's saying Alhamdulillah. And then about an hour, some time later, whatever, the telegram came again, sorry, there was a mistake, your boat hasn't been sunk in the sea. Your mal is still safe. He analyzed his heart and again he said Alhamdulillah. Yes, one aspect that the students were concerned, yeah, see, the old master, is that when you had bad news, you said Alhamdulillah. When you had good news, you still say Alhamdulillah. What is the reason behind it? He said is that when I heard the bad news, I analyzed my heart and state of heart. Was it displeased? Did my heart actually go away from the presence and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And because it didn't, I said Alhamdulillah. Because of grief, people forget Allah. But what did he do is that he, alayhi rahmah, he analyzed his heart in the time of adversity, in the time of hardship, in the time of difficulty. He analyzed his heart and he saw that, no, my heart is still in the remembrance, is still in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why he said Alhamdulillah. All praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when the good came, and many times in weddings we forget Allah. In births we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In richness we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the good news came, that actually it wasn't your ship, how happy would we be? Because this was like millions worth of goods that was coming. So his wealth didn't go down. So now out of joy, of ecstasy and joy and happiness, we forget Allah. But he analyzed his heart when he got the good news. Is my heart still in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And he saw that it was, and he said, that's why I said Alhamdulillah. So in other words, is that return back, it says that the very first moment that every time we should be doing this is that, for example, brother has won a game, has he remembered? MashaAllah, every time he wins, first thing he says, praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah bless the brother, remembering Allah in the time of your victories and remember us in time of your losses. Is that whenever you get you get prosperity, you get good fortune, return back. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving me. Returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that aspect, the returning of the heart, the returning of the mind, returning of the spirit, that it goes to His remembrance in those occasions, it doesn't disconnect. And in adversity, when you're in problem, when you're in difficulties. For example, many people, they lose everything. They lose the wife, they lose the children, they lose the business, they lose the wealth, they lose the houses, they lose the cars, they lose friends, everything. They lose everything. But do they still have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When those losses come, you've not lost nothing if you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you've not gained anything if you don't have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can lose everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be the compensator. But you don't have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can have everything. The reality is you have nothing. Number 5, the 5th principle in which they said, or the path is, being content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His decree in both hardship and ease. In other words, is that accepting. In other words, is that you accept the fact this is how. And that's why I said on Sunday is that whatever situation you're in now, Maybe it's happiness, maybe it's joy, maybe it's sadness, or maybe it's grief. Maybe it's tiredness, maybe it's actually energy. Maybe it's marriage, maybe unfortunately not marriage. Whatever situation you are in, it's the best situation for you. This time, the age, whatever you are in at this moment, this is the best, and this is the best time, this is the best moment, this is the best state, because only Allah is the one's good for you. Brother, guess what you're saying? Yes, that is right. Is that He expects now, is that, for example, I'll elaborate a little bit more, is that you may be in sinful state. Let's say, for example, you may be in sinful state. You are going away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And but the case, this person is sinning. He's going to clubs, he's womanizing, taking drugs, etc., etc. How is this good state? Is that it is hoped that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in the state. You have it's yourself who's put yourself in that state. But why is it good is that many times, I'll tell you, this is nothing comparison to what great Sufis of the past have done. Is that, for example, one great Sufi, Hazrat Malik bin Dinar, rahmatullahi alayhi. Read about him, how he changed, how he became. He was a policeman, but he was alcoholic, completely drunkard, because of the loss of his daughter. Imagine he had love for his daughter so much that his child, he lost her, and because of that he returned to alcohol. And he used to get drunk every single night. Now, if this person who used to get drunk every single night became a master in science of purification, then what can you be that? In other words, there's a reaction. It doesn't matter if you're a druggie or an alcoholic, you all have potential to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the highest level even. You just, why are you the person saying, no, I'm a druggie, I can only achieve this step? According to your mind, that's what you can. But according to Allah, this person is probably a giant. He's a giant. He just needs to be activated. We do not know. That's how Imam Ghazali rahimahullah said, is that don't actually be judgmental and don't judge people. For you don't know if the light has actually burned in the person. He just needs a spark of flame for him to ignite, and then boom, he excels. So, as I was saying, is that here, for example, that person is actually in this state. So how can that be good for him? It's because it is hope that this state then makes him ponder and reflect, and he does tawbah. He does tawbah. He regrets. I am telling you many a times, there is people who are doing wrong. I think great majority of 98% they know they're doing wrong. Seldom those people whose heart Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has actually completely blocked. About 95 or so people, whatever, Allah knows best. Many times when they're doing wrong, they know they're doing wrong. And they regret. And what happens is that if you like the scale of regret, sometimes what happens is that if you like regret and action, okay, it needs to go to a certain level of regret when an action comes, action of returning, okay, return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happens is that every time they're doing the sin, regret. And sometimes that regret becomes so heavy, it changes. And it completely changes, and they turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then what happens? The life changes completely. Do a full 360 U-turn. 180 U-turn, and they completely change their life. So that's why that state is actually good for them, because, and then sometimes if they're, for example, they wanted something, for example. Let's say, for example, they wanted to learn how to, they wanted to pass the driving test. A person wants to pass the driving test. They're there, they failed once, they failed twice. What is going wrong with me? I'm not such a bad driver, am I? Everybody else passing first time, why am I not passing? What's going wrong? What's happened here? What happened here? So what's happening is that, how, Brother Qais, but you're saying this state is good for me, but I really want to drive. I want to be able to drive to the majlises. I want to do good. I want to be able to drive to the majlises, the gatherings, go on different dawah trips, so I can drive there, up and down the country. Good intention, very good intention. Now, what's happening is that it's good for you. The reason why you're not passing basically is probably the fact that you would have caused maybe a few accidents. You don't know. But by you making those mistakes in front of the examiner, it's to remind you for the rest of your life not to make that mistake. You will not make that mistake again. And because you made that mistake in the examiner, Allah says, look, you rather fail now than failing somebody else's life. Many wisdom is, so you rather lose now instead of losing your car, losing somebody else's life or your life, or losing your license. Fail now. It's good. It's just a retest. So here is that being content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in hardship and ease. Whatever situation Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in, accept it with joy. Sometimes it's bitter, but accept it. So that's these are the 5 principles which Ahmad Zaruq Rahimullah says, is that these are 5 principles of the path. It's taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, private and public, following the Prophet on both word and deed, indifference to acceptance and rejections of people, returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in both prosperity and adversity, and being content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in hardship and ease. These are the 5 principles. The next part is about husn zan, the next part of the poem. And we have nearly come to a time. I'll just mention this, the bit which I really wanted to say is not even come up yet, but anyway, I'll just mention this for you, so next time inshallah we can carry on from it. He Ali Rahmah said is that, and have a good opinion of your servants if you wish for everlasting joy from the core to the crust. In other, from the inner to the outer. If you want real joy, have good opinion. And this is what, if anything you take away from today, is first of all, take away the fact that you have to understand is that you need to strive on the spiritual path. Without striving, but if anything that we need to employ, imagine this is the second bit of the poem he's mentioning. And something we lack greatly. Any little thing, we think of the worst of things. Even though, imagine, husn zan is having a good opinion. Imagine Sayyidina Isa once, just to show an extreme level of tawadu and humbleness, but a prophet of Allah, Sayyidina Isa bin Maryam alayhi salam, is that a prophet of Allah, what's happened is that somebody in front of his blessed eyes stole something. And then when he approached, because we're supposed to see this is how truthful about it is, you should approach and join the good for belief in such beautiful and gentle. He said is that, oh, such and such person, you shouldn't actually do these sort of things. This is, I'm paraphrasing. He said, Ya Nabiullah, I never did this. Wallahi, honestly, I swear to God that I didn't do this. Because of the father, he said, I swear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he never did this. He said, you're right, my eyes actually made me see something different. You are true, you are right, you're correct. It's my eyes. In other words, is that look how humble and the great akhlaq that you're seeing from them is that the person, whoever, he swore by Allah, because he swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he straight away kept quiet. But that person you even see, what we see, we don't even see full thing, we see partial thing, and we assume this person did this definitely. And then we create this great, what we call it is that, what's that word, Shabs, you use all the time? Conspiracy, there we go. We use a great conspiracy that we attach this to this, to this, to this, and then we come to this point. Here we go. And we then have full yaqeen, it is this. And then we find it's actually not this. And we accuse that person, and we thought bad about that person all this time when really it wasn't him. And all it needed was for us to just to ask, brother, did you do such and such? Have you done such and such? I must say Mubarak to our brother Shabir here. MashaAllah Mubarak. Normally you'd hear another noise today. Today, MashaAllah, Allah bless him, is that I think something must have been good. So MashaAllah, Allah bless you. On a serious note is that this brother is that the only, we shouldn't praise people in front of him, but this brother, every single majlis is there, even if nobody else is there. He's got the camera, he has set up, that is his task, that is what he said is that, okay, I don't need to do the speech, okay, I'm not the person who actually goes and does the elan, okay, I don't do, every single, all of us have a role to play. And if his role is to be the cameraman, pressing record and recording, none of you would have heard any of the Hazrat or any others. Nobody could even see this or hear this, whatever. So those people who are hearing, if they receive any blessings, I've understood and have actually benefited, is because of this brother. He's always there. So it's fine, but mashallah, bless him and actually give him more barakah in his rizq and khair in this life akhirah, and also bless him even more. So as I was saying, is that having good opinion of people, your spiritual brothers, your friends, your families, your fellow Muslim, is so paramount to the path. Is that what happens is that if you want to preserve and if you want happiness and joy to start emanating from deep inside your heart to the surface of your skin, then start thinking good of people. Because this suspicion, having bad thought, is like a disease which eats you inside. Internally, it's eating your heart away. It's eating your mind away. Because you don't have. But if you were to be of that person who says, no, let it be, it doesn't concern me, let it be, and you forget, and you forgive, and you overlook, your heart will always be at ease. Now let me just tell you one thing that you should do, is that once, at the time of I'm going to end it here as well, and we'll finish at another time. That once at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it's about forgiving and actually eradicating heart. At the time of the Prophet, he ﷺ, it's in Masjid Nabawi, and he had some Sahaba. He was actually giving them some nasiha, and then all of a sudden a Sahabi came, just did fresh wuzu, and then he ﷺ said, if you want to see a person of paradise, look at him now who's actually come through the doors. Actually come through, entered the masjid. If you want to see a person of paradise, look at him. So they all looked. And then this one Sahabi said, is that this person of paradise, what is he doing that I'm not doing? I need to find out. Because this is a Sahabi he ﷺ has now given blessed information that he's a person of paradise, guaranteed paradise for him. I want to know what he is doing so I can be of that person as well. So, like sometimes you don't, something's been said about you, but you don't know, and then people are just looking at you, think, oh gosh, here we go, what's happening? Anyway, what happens is that as soon as the masjid is finished, this Sahabi followed the other Sahabi to his house. So he said, oh, brother, as you know, that it is the adab and etiquette of a fellow Muslim is that he can go and stay in another Muslim's house for 3 days and 3 nights without him saying anything. Now, don't you all be clever as well, okay? So it is the etiquette. Is that basically is that he said is that I'd like to come and spend 3 days with you if that's possible. Spend some time with you. For the, said now he can't say no, so he now has to facilitate that. He said fine, okay, fine. So he made it to inform his family. Listen, this brother is going to be coming staying with us for some days, so make some room for him. So he created room in his own room for him to sleep and rest. So he came from work, he was there, and then now he's analyzing, what is he doing? He eats, goes to sleep, gets up, maybe does 2 rakats of tahajjud, some rakats of tahajjud, falls asleep again, and then gets up for fajr, goes to work, comes back, eats, sleeps, gets up for tahajjud, gets up for fajr, then goes to work, comes back again. Thinking, what is he doing? He's a person of paradise, but he's not doing anything which I'm doing. Even I do more than him. Some awras, I do more than him. I'm doing more awras. I'm doing more ibadat than him. He's thinking to himself, I'm doing more than him. But I'm not seeing anything super special that he's doing, that he's become a person of paradise. The messenger of Allah says he's a person of paradise. Surely he's doing something. 1 more day left. So he checked. Analyze, again same routine. He gets up, goes to work, comes back home, eats, rests, then sleeps. That's it. So 3 days have now passed, He said, brother, I'll be leaving today. So obviously the person is relieved, so he's leaving fine for all. They say, oh, that's sad to hear. So, mashallah. So, is there a reason why you came and stayed here for 3 days? Is there a reason why you want to spend some time with me? He sighed. You see, you don't know about it, but what happened? You know, the day you came to the Masjid Nabawi, and we were in the Masjid of the Prophet, he said, yes. He, alayhi salatu wasalam, said is that if you want to see a person in paradise, then look at him now. And it was you. Don't get him, but I didn't want to say it, but it was you. And what I want to know is that what is that you were doing that's made you a person of paradise, so that I can be that person as well. Hence why I want to spend some time with you. But when I spend some time with you, I seen that you're not really doing more than what I was doing, or anything special. So can you think of anything that you're doing? Maybe you do that I don't see. Anything that you're doing? He said, not really, no. This is all I do. I just go to work, sleep and rest, etc., etc. I don't really know. I'm sorry, I cannot be of help. So he sighed. He said, okay, thank you for your hospitality. I shall take leave now. So he started to walk away. Oh, so he goes, wait. Come back. He goes, what is it? So he calls him back. He comes back. He goes, what is it? He goes, listen, I know it's not something you can see, but there is something that I do that the Prophet told me to do. He goes, what is it? And maybe this is it. He goes, every night when I go to sleep, is that I analyze my day. In my mind, I analyze the day. And those people who have wronged me, those people who have violated my rights, those people who have wronged me, from the bottom of my heart, I go to the depths of my heart, I empty it and I forgive that person. I forgive that person. He said, that's the reason why. Is that I forgive that person and I sleep, I have a very nice sleep. Well, honestly, by the Sahaba are haq, the truth, and whatever they say truth, because they are mentioning whatever the Prophet said is truth. Because he sallallahu is that, oh, such my Sahabi, I don't have this in my heart, nor should you have. In other words, don't have ill feelings of your Muslim brother. Rather, I don't have this, and you make yourself like this. And then he sallallahu told him what to do. So that every time you go to sleep, analyze your heart. If there's anybody who's violated your rights, who's wronged you, forgive them for the sake of Allah. Empty it out. As soon as you'll do that, even if I forget alone, even if you were to do it now, I am telling you now, if you were to do it, think of that person, think of who has actually violated you, go down, extract it and release it. You will feel that ease, light, comfort entering your heart. It's that ease. That's why is that if you were to have this, and if you're like this stress we cause for ourselves every day, because we're creating enemies and creating all these people for ourselves, release it. Be at ease. And realize that we're all in this fear or test by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who's put us into this world of test. And just one thing for you to actually reflect on, ponder upon. Try to do this. Do it tonight if you have to, or do it today. Daytime you'll experience. One thing that I'll just finish up with before we go, a statement from one of the shuyukhs has said, and it's a departing message so that you can actually understand. Meaning that, not that we depart even this world, I'm saying that we're finishing this now, so you actually think about it. So don't think the case is leaving us now, okay? Allah knows best. Who knows? I'm not thinking, but who knows? Who knows when we're going to go? Well, listen, like I said, is that you pray for me, definitely indeed. I am in need of your prayers. You see this, unfortunately, this attire of piety, outwardly drawn in piety. Honestly, I am that. I was talking about myself really. That person in public, I am an angel. I portray myself to be an angel. Unfortunately, nothing like this up privately. May Allah forgive me and help me to improve my character and improve my amals and deeds. Here, one of the shuyukhs that said is that the nafs has been wrapped. Your nafs has been wrapped what? Wrapped around your body. Your nafs has been wrapped around your body, your mind, and your spirit. And it has cocooned you in its world. It has cocooned you in its world. Pierce it. Puncture it. Release it through the zikr of your Lord. is that we it's really, if you were to, if you delve into this, you'll understand is that imagine a cocoon. That's what we are. We're trapped. We're so trapped we can't even move. But it's trapped us not in this dunya, but we are living in the world of the nafs, the fantasies of the nafs, the desires of the nafs. So we're not living in this world, this dunya. We're actually in the world of the nafs. How true this statement is of the shuyus is that they said is that you're cocooned in the world, in its world. I.e., you're trapped in its world. If it's surrounded from, that's why the shuyus says that some of us are from head to toe we are nafs. So from head to toe, body, mind, and spirit, we are trapped. Now, in order for you to feel that release, is that if you are not doing your dhikr, what you've been prescribed, if you're not doing your amals, then you will not release yourself from it. You will not be actually easing the tightness of that shell that the nafs that you put you in. So the only way to pace it, the only way to open it, the only way to rapture it is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, dhikr of all, not just doing Allah, Allah, dhikr of the eyes, dhikr of the hands, dhikr of the feet, dhikr of the mind, and the dhikr of the heart. That is the way you're going to release from the nafs. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to attain salvation from the nafs and shaitan, mean that from their plannings and their trickery, and enable us to reform the nafs and to attain enlightenment in this life as well as the akhirah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and will enable us all to be successful. Jazakumullah khairan.